just watch, okay? Just watch.
Let's talk a little bit about what the president also said just a little while ago.
Let me see here. Hold on one second. Looks like you're going to have to just watch because I got to share the sound. I apologize. We'll do this again. This is a professional broadcast. Holy shit! Where is it? Oh God, I killed it.
You killed it.
Oh, Lou, what the hell? What the hell did I do? This is not a good way to.
Hardly any sound.
Yeah, this is not a good way to start this. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pretend like nothing else happened yet. Okay. So, hi folks. Nothing else happened. We're about to start right now. So, here we go.
A little bit about what the president also said just a little while ago about North Carolina's absentee voting system. He said, and I'm quoting him right now, so let them send it in and let them go vote. And if the system is as good as they say it is, then obviously they won't be able to vote. That sounds like he's actually encouraging people to commit a crime, to vote twice.
I'm sorry, you'll have to read that.
All right, and this is what he said. So let them send it in, the vote, the email, the voting by mail, and let them go vote the ballot. Let them send in the ballot, and then let them go vote. And if the system is as good as they say it is, then obviously they won't be able to vote. But it sounds like he's encouraging people to break the law and try to vote twice.
Well, I don't know exactly what he was saying, but it seems to me what he's saying is he's trying to make the point that the ability to monitor this system is not good. And if it was so good, if you tried to vote a second time, you would be caught if you voted in person.
That would be illegal if they did that. If somebody mailed in a ballot and then actually showed up to vote in person, that would be illegal.
I don't know what the law in the particular state says.
You can't vote twice.
Well, I don't know what the law in the particular state says and when that vote becomes final.
Is there any state that says you can vote twice?
Well, there's some, maybe that you can change your vote up to a particular term. I don't know what the law is, so I'm not going to. If you know what he's saying, why are you asking me what he's saying?
He doesn't believe in the mail-in voting. You're the Attorney General of the United States.
Lou, how the hell does the Attorney General of the United States not know that voting twice in the same election is illegal?
Yeah, he's trying to fluff that off. I don't care what state you're in, you name it. Try and vote twice. I know the Republican mantra is, all kinds of illegal voters and fraud and this and that. And the only people I could think of that have been charged with fraudulent voting or tampering are Republicans.
That's the only ones I've ever seen.
I mean, can you know of any instances? I mean, there's a minuscule amount here and there, but I mean, for the most, there is none. The only fraudulent things I see about voting are them trying to suppress the vote for Democrats and minorities, suppress the vote, making it harder to vote. ID laws that are, so ridiculous. Basically, the way some of those ID laws are written, I probably could be disqualified because of the way my name is on the voting rolls and the way it's on my license, technically.
Yeah, me too.
But it's me. It's my address.
Yeah.
And, I know from mail-in voting in the primary, once you were certified as mailing is when you got that primary ballot in the mail. I believe it said right on there, don't even try and go vote at the polls because your name won't be there. It'll basically say that you have voted or were given, you were mailed a ballot, and you can't do both.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside to the mail-in voting, right? Is it's an all or nothing deal. Once you start, you can't go back. It's like the dark side of the force, right? I'll take it. I'd much rather do that than go vote anyhow. But if this guy doesn't know that this is illegal, what the hell is he doing all day?
Well, we know he knows it's illegal. He's a good liar. That's why he's working for Trump. He's Trump's Roy Cohn, and we know that. My question is, because of what Trump just said, and we just saw what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, how many people do you think are going to try this?
Jeez.
I mean, seriously, I don't think it's going to be one.
No. Oh God, no.
How many false narratives you going to see at polling places? Oh, it changed my vote on the screen. Well, we know they can't do that in Pennsylvania now.
Right.
What would you do? Slip with the pencil because that's what you got to use? Yes, it's an electronic scanner, but you have paper. How many of Ivanka's machines are already rigged coming from China? Going into what, 7 states?
Yeah, I think it is 7. Yeah, I think it is.
That she got the patent for.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was it gets to the point where you can't there's no way to fight it, right? It gets to the point where there's no way to fight it. The only thing you can do is, like we say at the bottom, 61 days. Right? You got to hold out 61 more days. And then give it hell. To go along on with this thing, let me see if I can share this one right. Okay, here we go. It's easy whenever you don't have to worry about sound, right? This is where the bar thing started, right? Because Trump decided to tell everybody in North Carolina. I mean, you heard what you heard. Wolf Blitzer, he basically read this whole thing. Here's what's exciting about all this. Thursday afternoon, which was today afternoon, Twitter flagged Trump's morning tweets, reiterating his comments, saying they violated Twitter's rules about civic and election integrity. Here's the funny part. Facebook took similar action, attaching a statement to Trump's post on the platform that said voting by mail has a long history of trustworthiness in the U.S. and the same as predicted this year. And you know how you can read all about it, yada, 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 yada. A spokesman for Facebook would also not allow people to share the video of Trump because a spokesman said Facebook would not allow the video to be shared because it violates our policies prohibiting voter fraud. So you can bet that the Twitter in chief lost his shit and went on a Twitter rampage because, well, I guess what else does he have to do, right? First he came up with this bullshit. Then he continued with this bullshit. I don't even want to read this. I love how he finished it with "God bless America." Lou, he lashes out whenever he doesn't get his way. He whines and cries. There's another one coming up that we're going to talk about, and you're not going to believe the webpage that I'm going to show you. You're not going to believe it's coming from me. Here, what that article doesn't say is Facebook has decided that the last week before the election, they're not going to allow any political ads at all. Doesn't matter who it is. Trump, Biden, me, you, everybody living in Mayberry, the Lincoln Project, none of them. No political ads for the last week. And their argument is they want to they don't want to be the source that taints the election or the vote. Lou, people are voting now. Why are you waiting till a week before?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And because of COVID, I'm wondering really what percentage of votes going to be in by then. It's going to be way higher than what it has been in the past.
Oh, no.
Florida allows early voting, don't they?
Yes.
Because you wonder how overwhelmed are those polls going to be, polling places even early.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the statistics in Florida right now for COVID are through the roof. I mean, people are going to try and get there no matter what, but they're going to be overwhelmed all the way through.
Yeah, they are. So why are you waiting till 7 days before the election?
Well, we know it's Trump book pretty much, because of Zuckerberg, that.
Yeah.
He wants his cash one way or the other. I mean, he's going to lose less money if he only holds out to a week just trying to look good. That's all he ever does. He's doesn't care. What do you do? We take down one Russian site, and there's about 1,000 more running.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. I told you before we went live, and I honestly believe it. I'm not saying he's panicking right now, but he's got to start. He's got to be running scared. He's got to be. I mean, he gets on Fox Entertainment and tells Laura what's her face that there's airplanes full of people in wearing black and carrying guns that are going to all these places. Huh? And she couldn't even pull him off the ledge, right? He doubled down on that.
Yeah, Antifa planes loaded with thugs.
Yeah.
I thought that was the 101st Airborne out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, actually. Isn't the Army paid to get rid of fascists? Well, they were.
Can you tell me why only the right can spot Antifa? Can you tell me that?
Did you see who was the idiot? Oh, speaking of idiots, wasn't it Rand Paul that's looking for introduced a bill that had something to do with Antifa, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a piece of work to begin with, but
yeah, he's a douchebag anyhow.
I don't get it. How as she tried to pull him back off the ledge, he went back to the ledge, right? And now the asshole Barr backed his play again today on Wolf Blitzer, saying, "Oh yeah, we have." First of all, he said when Blitzer asked him how he knew, he said intelligence. So Blitzer asked him what intelligence, and he said, "Well, you just got to interpolate." Well, what do you mean you have to interpolate? You're telling us that there are airplanes full of people, all dressed in combat fatigues, ready to go storm something. Don't you think somebody in the airport would have seen them?
Well, especially when you have to keep a flight log of every plane going in and out, and even if it's Newcastle Airport, when they take a joyride and come back, you have to log it in, don't you?
Well, I'm pretty sure the TSA would have noticed somebody with an AK strapped across his chest, wearing fatigues, walking through the metal detectors, and we have airplanes full of people doing this.
Yeah, because I remember my neighbor used to pilot a little Cessna, and I think as soon as you take off or going to take off, you have to check in with either Pittsburgh or Cleveland Tower. Air traffic control. You're just saying I'm staying below 5,000 feet, and they just want to know where you are, because don't forget we have an air base near us, Air Force.
In Youngstown, isn't it?
Yeah, you're only 20 flight miles away, so you can't fly over. I think you can actually get permission to fly near there, maybe over part of the land, but not the airport itself. But
that I don't know. I know you you definitely have to check in, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another conspiracy theory, whether it started with QAnon or who knows what. I mean, it just amazes me. Is it that much easier to believe bullshit than facts, or are you just in that much denial?
I think what happens is people get intrigued with conspiracy theories, number one. And number two, a lot of these people really like conspiracy theories that reinforce their beliefs. And as long as I got somebody telling me, and you see it all the time. What do you think? We just said Facebook is so big, right? What do you think Fox Entertainment is so big? Because I'm surrounded now with people or entities or things that are telling me that what this thing I believe, regardless of how right field screwed up it is legitimate and holds merit, because they're reinforcing what I'm thinking. They're saying the same thing, or they're telling me I'm right and the rest of the world is wrong. It's pretty easy. Murdoch figured it out a long time ago.
Yeah, and the first thing a cult tells you is everybody else is wrong.
We're the only ones that understand you, right? It's easier to make up your own facts, quote unquote facts. Also, the conspiracy will bend toward their facts. Bob less than our Twitch chat, absolutely. Yeah, it's and you're right. Cults have been doing this for years. How the hell do you think Jim Jones got everybody to go to Guyana? Look at Koresh, right? How the hell are you going to get that many people in a compound for that long? Unless you can convince them that the world is against them and they're wrong, or they're right and the world's wrong. You have the cult of Trump. That's all. Same shit. We were talking about him panicking, right? Here you go. The Independent. He is panicking. Veteran slammed Trump and adds as polls among service members showed declining support for the president. Look at this. Only 38% of active duty military have a favorable view of the incumbent, including according to a recent survey. Were you on with me and Frank whenever we talked about this, Lou?
Yeah, that's a huge number for military.
Yeah.
That is a huge number.
Yeah.
Traditionally, you were looking at what, in the 70s from the military?
Oh, it was huge.
For commander in chief?
I don't know what the percentage was, but it was insane. If you want to tell me 70, I'd believe every percentage point.
It wasn't just a little bit over. It was high.
Yeah, it was enormous. Yeah, well, commander in chief, right? How do you think this is going to play out? Oh, and let's not forget, going back to how we started, I'm pretty sure these guys are voting now. Aren't they?
Yeah.
You got to think that the guys, stationed in Germany or wherever, they're voting now. They had to be. You got 60 days. They better have sent their ballots in by now.
And you know what? What is there? About 1 million active duty military in all aspects?
So 70% of 1 million.
And that would include I would think that would include all support in addition to troops. But if that's 1 million families, how many more people is that?
Right. And that's just it. It's 1 million troops and support. That's not those troops and support's family, right? Because they're not counting, the guy who's ducking bullets in a desert someplace. They're not counting his family. They're just counting him. I would guess the family would be a little harder on the commander in chief than they would be, right?
Yeah.
So that number is going to be that number. That 70% has a whole lot of impact, because that's not telling you the whole story. That's not telling you the residual. That's just telling you basically the people on the payroll, for lack of a better term. Right? So that 70% of a million says what, 700,000. How many more people do you think you put on top of that?
Let's just say the average extended family is 4.
400,000?
Well, it'd be another 4 million, say.
Oh, another 4 million.
Yeah.
So you're at 4.7, almost 5 million people. Right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, a son goes off. Let's just say it might be more than that. His wife, if he has a wife, I mean, just parents, say immediate parents on both sides.
So that's
Averaging
4,
that.
right?
Might be a low number.
That's 4 to 1. Right. On top of that, siblings. Right? Siblings, spouses. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you're close to 5 million. Oh, is that a clean sweep? No, of course not. Okay. You always got the asshole in-laws that's going to vote for Trump no matter what happens, right? It doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to get that asshole.
But you got the people that are, you're disgruntled. And like you said, let's see, the mom and dad's like, what, nothing from Trump on these bounties? My son got deployed to the Middle East and he's doing nothing about it. My daughter's in Afghanistan. They're on a ship in the Persian Gulf. I mean,
or my husband, my wife, my father, my mother.
I don't care what branch they're in.
Nope. Bounty's a bounty. They're not saying, well, the Air Force is this much money, Navy's this much, right? Well, they might be. We don't know because Trump never saw it. He never saw it, right? He never saw it.
Yeah, never saw it.
No, teacher, I'm sorry. I never saw the assignment you sent to us. No, I didn't see it written on the board. No, I didn't know that was the only thing written on the board. And I was in that room for an hour. Never saw it. And you know what? People buy it. People buy it.
It just amazes me how they'll stick behind him and they know it's a lie, but you know what? Did you happen to catch that article? And I know we've talked about this how many times, and it's so high among Republicans. They'd rather see a dictator in a country of white than a democracy with minorities.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's playing that. He's playing that. Message in the chat room, Lou. I'll let you answer it. Bob Les said he's worried that, or she is worried that these protests and riots will hurt Biden's chances. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
You know what? I'm on the fence in that. I think if they go on too long, Trump's going to keep playing that. It has to be maybe Biden. Well, Biden, was he in Kenosha today? Or he's going tomorrow?
No, he was. Kenosha's where the kid got shot in the back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there today.
Okay. I think with some of the ads Biden's coming out with, stating the fact, and if you look at ad buys, Biden had such a haul that he's going to be hitting these swing states hard. Mm-hmm. And I also think that him getting the messaging across as, yes, it's legal to protest, but it's not legal to riot. And he also has to get out those statistics that a lot of these people arrested are not Black Lives Matter people or supporters of Black Lives Matter or whatever you do. It's a lot of right wingers. We saw that in Portland. It's the Boogaloos. It's Kyle Rittenhouse types looking to stir shit.
Yeah.
And they should be forced to lick the pot they stir when they get caught.
Yeah. I think personally, well, these things, these protests and riots or whatever, are not going to get done in 60 days. They're not going to all of a sudden, a month and a half from now going to start, right? They have them for 90 days in Portland for 90 days. I don't see it stopping in a month or a month and a half.
Depending on whether it's going to get kicked back in some cities, though.
Yeah.
We're still in good weather though now too.
Yeah, well, weather has a lot to do with it. I don't know. The weather's not going to get that bad by beginning of November, did it?
No, it's not.
I don't. I don't know that it's going to hurt him, and I'll be honest with you. To Bob Lest, I don't think it's going to hurt him if and Luke kind of touched on it, if he addresses it the right way. Okay, if he just totally ignores it or makes his blanket statement, then yeah, and he shows any kind of weaknesses toward it, then yeah, I think he's going to have a problem. But I think if he handles it right, if he addresses it right, if he does a lot like you said, separates the rioters from the protesters and does things like that and continues to push that message and does it in a way that's very compassionate to the people who are protesting, I think he can turn this into a positive instead of a negative.
I think seeing early messaging, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Some of his messaging also is I read an interesting article today. The unemployment rate's what, over 10%?
Still over 10%.
For people with salaries above 60,000, do you know how much the unemployment rate increased in that same time span?
I'm going to be stupid. Say 40%.
0.5%.
Wow. Okay, well, I said I was being stupid.
Basically, this is the message. I think he sees this number because a lot of the people that it has hurt, this is the same people protesting out there. It's lower end wage earners taking a hit. It's service industry. That's where a lot of the unemployed are from. Not from technology, not from construction jobs that pay more, especially in unionized states, things like that. It's a lot of the lower paying jobs because they've been lost because of COVID. And people like me that didn't take a vacation that would have, to support those people in Myrtle Beach or wherever I was going to go.
Yeah.
A hotel industry, those are low paying jobs. Half of those people are still laid off.
Yeah. And the longer oh, how we get
the message is healthcare and good jobs for all. The people that aren't going to vote for Biden because of protests weren't going to vote for him to begin with.
Right. I agree. Bob List, I hope we answered that question for you or addressed your concern. Again, it's just our opinion, but if you wanted to answer us back, what do you think? Do you think it's going to have an impact or not? I know you're worried about it, but what do you think? Do you think it's going to matter? You remember me telling you that the website is going to surprise you?
Yeah, let me see this.
Yeah, you're not going to believe this. I actually went there. All right. So what happens, man? Sometimes you got to take a walk on the wild side,
Yeah. An upper single digit lead. And this is a Fox News poll.
Oh, this is unbelievable seeing this, right? So yeah, it's a Fox News poll, so you know it's skewed to begin with, but these things are just absolutely. If now you know why he's panicking, why he's freaking out.
Yeah, look at that.
Biden voters, look at this. Look at this, 49-40, and this is a Fox News poll. Okay.
In a state that's been red since '88.
Yeah. Plus or minus 3.5%, folks. Keep that in mind. That is a margin of error. Um, Biden's lead comes off of significant support among seniors. I wonder why that is. Women, hey, I wonder why that is. And Hispanics, well, we know why that is, right? He's up by 46 points among Hispanics, 16 among women, 12 among voters aged 65 and over. That's just Arizona. We'll keep going. Here we go again. This is the down ballot. Remember how we said how important those things are? You had said earlier in the week that McSally's getting her clock cleaned. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, she's looking at Santorum numbers just because she was appointed. I mean, she said some idiotic things in the Senate. I mean, she has no positive reviews.
Look at this. Most Trump supporters are ticket splitters, as 89% of his backers support McSally, while 96 of Biden's backers go for Kelly. Okay. Huge. Here we go, North Carolina. Biden's got a 50 to 46 lead. Now, you taking the margin of error, that's only 0.5%. That's still pretty big, considering it's North Carolina. And look at it compared to 2016, right? Look at those numbers compared to 2016. I got another message on our chat from Bob Les. I want to hit that in a second, so my friend don't think we're forgetting about you. North Carolina choice for Senate if voting now. Tom Tillis, you're out, buddy. Third party 5%, undecided 5%. Again, don't forget the margin of error is 3.5. So Cal Cunningham takes that. Again, a Democrat in North Carolina. Most Biden supporters are also backing Cunningham. Most Trump backers pick Tillis. That's 87% Biden's for Cunningham and 84 for Tillis, 84 Trump for Tillis. So that's pretty much a wash. Look at Wisconsin. Remember we were talking about Wisconsin, Lou. Again, 2016. The Democrats was at 46. Trump was at 47. Now look at it. Biden, 50%. Trump, 42. And it's women, according to this. Women make all the difference in the Badger State. They favor Biden by 17 points. Well, men are more evenly divided, with Trump getting +1. Plus 95% of the Democrats support Biden than compared to 86% of Republicans that are supporting Trump. This is the other part that got me. Trump is ahead among rural voters, but it's only +4.
That's actually big.
You think?
Only by 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, because you there's only 4 of us out here that are voting for Biden. Right? And it doesn't get any more rural than where we are. Here's your battleground states right here. We'll put them both up. Okay? So here we get into a little bit more specific. Battleground states better to handle coronavirus. Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin all say Biden, with a minimum being 50% in Carolina. Battleground states better handling of policing and criminal justice. This is much closer, but don't forget, we're talking the margin of error. North Carolina is a wash. This is if these numbers are true, this is devastating. Our message in the chat. Remember, I asked Bob Les about how does he feel? Does he feel what we had talked about? And he said, yes, I do. There's a strange phenomenon among Hispanics like myself. They don't care about unemployment rates and health care for all. Many will still vote for Trump. Many people that I know, well, dude, almost everybody we know is voting for Trump. He said he pondered this for a while, realized there was the machismo ingrained in the culture, even in the young crowd. I find a direct correlation between machismo and uneducated in my area. I
Well,
don't think that's restricted to your area. Okay.
no, good observation, but that's true. We find that among rednecks too.
Yeah, we that's not that's you don't hold the exclusive on that. Um,
Yeah, tell them we know plenty of morons out here.
oh, he can hear it. He's
Oh,
watching
you hear? Yeah, driving around in a shitty pickup with a Trump and a Confederate flag on it.
And those assholes don't have 2 dimes. Well, they have enough for a case of Bush, right? That's it.
Keystone.
Or Keystone. Yeah. That's it. That's all they got. Uh, the machismo thing that and uneducated goes hand in hand. It really does. It's not surprising that the clown is doing well with uneducated white voters, right? It shouldn't be, because that's what you got, right? That what what Bob Les just described. That's what you got. That's who you're dealing with.
And that's where we are. That's where we are in Mayberry. That's why you see such a heavy, so many Trump signs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely terrible, dude. It is absolutely terrible. Here's one I don't know if you saw. Okay, I really don't know if you saw this, but I wanted to talk about it with Frank yesterday. But like I said, all we did was talk about soccer all day. Literally the entire thing. All we did was we talked Premier League. We went over all the Premier League kits yesterday. But this one kind of shocked me. Trump told Sarah Sanders to take one for the team after Kim Jong-un winked at her.
Seriously? No, that's not an Onion article.
That's the Guardian.
The Guardian.
Okay. I can do you one better. Okay, hold on. I'll do you one better, just to show you that it wasn't an Onion article. It's a shame you can't just flip through both of these. Okay. Here's the Daily Mail. Oh, whoop, wrong one. Sorry. Was that? Oh,
he lashes out at Fox News and blames it on the stock market plunge.
yeah, I know. I got that too late. Sorry, guys. I got my shit out of order. But going back to Business Insider. There you go. Okay. There you go, dude.
Oh man.
How would you like for your boss to tell you, dude, you got to take one for the team? What kind of asshole does this?
Cindy, our old boss, to be exact. I don't know if she was joking or serious on a woman buyer one time to me.
No way, really?
Yeah.
She had to be kidding. She wouldn't put up with that shit for a second. She had.
No, she was kidding. I was just laughing. I remember her saying that, and we were laughing about it.
I was going to say, there's no way she was a lot of things, but she wasn't going to put up with that for a second.
Nah, she wouldn't either. She wouldn't want to hear it.
I don't. I didn't mean to start laughing about this, right? I really didn't, and I don't want to make it funny.
But he doesn't joke. He was serious.
Yeah, I mean, here's what he said.
Wouldn't you have liked to seen the look on her face because she knows he's serious?
Right. Here's what he said. He told her, Kim Jong-un hit on you. He did. He fucking hit on you, and she replied, "Sir, please stop." And that wasn't enough. Well, Sarah, that settles it. You're going to North Korea and taking one for the team. Your husband and kids will miss you, but you'll be a hero to your country. I hope he was kidding. She's made it sound like he was kidding. I certainly hope he was, and it's not as serious as their the headlines and everything are portraying it. But Wow.
You know what though is you're hoping it's like Cindy. She was kidding, but have you in 3 years and how many months has he been president? 8.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him laugh?
No, I've never seen him smile. I've never seen him joke. Bob Lester, are you still with us? Have you ever seen this clown laugh, joke, smile, carry on, anything? I'll give him a second. I never did. I never did.
To me, that says a lot. To me, that says a lot about a person.
He's not happy. I've never seen his wife smile or laugh or anything. When was the last time you saw her, crack a smile and
when she was 6 inches from Justin Trudeau?
Oh, that was a look of lust there. That's a little different. Right? Right. That was somebody who's looking at this guy and saying, my husband sleeps in a separate room. That's what she was doing. I don't think, Lou. I really don't. I've never seen him happy. I've never seen him smile. I don't know. I just don't get this guy. But November 1st, we're going to have a vaccine for the coronavirus.
Do you think it's actually going to meet real approval or a rubber stamp?
I don't think they're even going to do any kind of approval. I think that this clown has enough people listening to him, going to do what he says, and they're just gonna do it, and they're not going to care what the long-term effects are. If it even comes out on November 1st.
Yeah, I don't see it, and I don't know if you're going to segue into this, but did you see the study about long-term effects where they're showing up now?
No.
With people that would otherwise have been healthy, with the Big Ten doctor from Penn State?
I saw a thing about it. I never did read it. What was it?
I'll tell you what it was, and I said this to my wife, and she had said something because she's in healthcare. It's called, I can't even think of the name now, but it has to do with it's causing an inflammation of the heart muscles. And if this is not, it reduces the ability of the heart, of course, to pump blood, absorb oxygen, and the way they said it is an outstanding athlete. If he gets COVID and it's like 1 out of 3, and he's 1 out of 3 that gets this lingering effect, it will make him from an exceptional athlete to an average because they will not function like they used to. And this is where I believe the death rate for COVID is being underreported, anywhere from 10 to 20%. I think there's people that were asymptomatic that got it, damaged the heart, because I know of 2-3 people from my church that you thought were otherwise healthy that dropped over dead watching TV, heart attack. They were never tested.
Wow.
Is this one of and this is what scares me about getting it.
Oh yeah.
Am I healthy enough, or am I going to get this side effect?
We've said, well, we've known for a while. I don't mean you and me. I mean, like, people knew for quite a while that heart problems, and we thought for a while it was lung problems too, could be a long-term side effect of this. So it's not exactly it's not new to yeah. What I think is new is how quickly we're seeing it.
It's called myocarditis.
Okay.
Is what it is. And he just said that they shouldn't be playing because of the medical uncertainty in this. And he's talking 30 to 35% of Big Ten athletes who tested positive appear to have myocarditis. Okay, we're talking athletes. If they made a Division I school on scholarships, I don't care what sport they're playing, let it be women, men, basketball, swimming, soccer, football, 1 out of 3, you may have heart issues the rest of your life if it isn't found and treated right away. They do have a way of treating it, but is it going to mean being on, I don't know enough about it, being on medication the rest of your life?
That's
You
good.
want to
Yeah,
be
for your heart.
you want to be 22-year-olds coming out of college having to be on a heart medicine the rest of your life?
No, right? No, no, no. Of course you don't. No, nobody wants that. Um, I, I mean, do you find it odd that we're seeing this early? Because I mean, it's not exactly. If you got it early here, that we where we recognized it, which would have been February, March, right? We're talking 6 months ago.
Well, I think it's an immediate because I've heard things about this before from medical people that they're saying this is causing a side effect of heart and lung. So you figure 6 months down there's people studying every incidence is what's going on. So now they're backtracking and doing, it says cardiac MRI scans. They're not just pulling this number out of their ass. These people are being tested.
Yeah, yeah. Bob was asking, are we afraid of the side effect of the vaccine or of COVID-19? Which one's scarier?
You know what? The 1 in 3 shot of having a bad heart the rest of your life, that scares me more than getting COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I possibly had it early on because there were documented cases in January. We know that before anybody knew what the hell it was.
Right.
If I did, I'm one of the lucky ones. Me and my wife both.
You haven't had you would need a test for that, though, right? I mean, that wouldn't just come from a simple blood test. It would have to be specific that they were looking for that.
Right.
Good luck with getting your insurance to cover it.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah. I'm more afraid of the side effect of the vaccine or of COVID-19. But that's a tough question. I would be more afraid of the side effect of the vaccine simply because we don't know what it is yet.
Without full testing, I mean, they normally take what, a year to 18 months? Yeah. And you take any kind of drug that's out there. I mean, pay attention to any drug tonight, the side effects.
Commercial.
Could cause death is one of the side effects.
Yeah. That's a pretty drastic side effect, isn't it?
I mean, some of the things, permanent sharts. Yeah, that's a fun thing to have.
Yeah.
When something affects your heart, and I'm thinking, would that vaccine also have an effect on the heart, being that's part of COVID? I mean, when you're getting a vaccine that's giving you a tiny bit for the antibodies in your system to develop a resistance to.
And if this thing is going to be mainstreamed on the first or even the first week, you don't have, you cannot, it's physically impossible to get a sample size big enough to have any kind of knowledge of what this thing is going to do to you after the needle goes in your arm.
Yeah, because I mean, how long does it take for a large sample to be checked?
Oh, geez, it would take
6 months.
Probably.
I mean, for a good,
I don't give a shit, but I'm saying, yeah, probably.
For a good result?
For a well, how long would it take just for the review? Yeah, six months is probably fast tracking it. It's going to take you 6 months just to collect that much, right? For a legit sample size. You're not going to sample 1,000 people. You're going to sample 100,000.
Well, that's what I mean. They're going to bring out mass produce. Are they going to have 1 million vaccines out there by November 1st?
You can have 1 million guinea pigs by November 1st. No, let me rephrase that. Or you can have 1 million guinea pigs and tested and results be verified by November 1st.
Yeah, this is September the 4th, or no, 3rd.
This is the 3rd.
This is September 3rd.
So you're less than 60 days away. Right? You can do all that in would have to be a month and a half. Because now you got to, well, you can be you could be mass producing the drug while you're doing the testing. That's no problem. But you better be compensating this drug company a whole shit ton of money, because they're not going to do it just and then take a chance that it doesn't work without having some kind of compensation.
Yeah, any drug company out there doing this, they're going to want to pass, because they're going to say, we can't guarantee this.
Bob List is saying he's waiting for Oxford's vaccine. It won't be ready until mid-2021. Everything I've seen, every legitimate anything I've seen, and we must have seen what, Lou? There's at least 3. I think Johnson & Johnson is one of them. Oxford's one. Pitt has one. Pitt University or Penn State.
Pitt. University of Pittsburgh.
So there's at least 3. They're looking at 2021 at the earliest. They're looking at it at the earliest.
And the University of Pittsburgh is one of the top in the world. They've done this work.
Yeah, this is old hat for them.
And they're saying 2021.
Yeah. Well, let's say Oxford's is the middle of 2021. So we're talking June, July, August.
Don't forget, University of Pittsburgh is what developed the heart transplant, polio vaccine, among others.
Yeah. These guys don't play around. And I'm sorry, Lou. And I'll tell you the other reason I think it's a bunch of shit. You know who doesn't know anything about this? Didn't know anything about this vaccine?
The CDC?
Well, specifically, Fauci. Had no clue. How the hell does he not have a clue? Right? To go along with that, this is coming from a government. This is coming from an administration who I would have to say is less than trustworthy. I think that'd be a very polite way to put it. Can you believe anything they're telling you about a vaccine being ready in 60 days?
Let's see, 20,000 plus documented lies. Yeah, I think I'll stay in quarantine.
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting kind of used to it. You know, that's the funny thing about humans is we adjust, right? I can't believe that. By the way, it's a great ringtone.
That's my wife. That's
okay. I was going to say
she's the only one that has that ringtone.
Anytime Springsteen's your ringtone, you know you did something right.
Well, she's the one. I put it on hers.
There you go. I want to say that Bob's yelling, answer it.
What they say, answer
it. Dude, we're done in 5 minutes. She can. Sorry, I'm trained to answer my wife's call. Good for you, buddy. You were trained well.
Oh
my goodness. Before we before we hang this up, call it a day, but whatever you want to say. We're sitting here, and when it's been a fun show. It really has. But we had another shooting. Okay. Well, I don't want to say it was a shooting. Forgive me. It wasn't a shooting, but we have to call this out. 7 Rochester police officers suspended over Daniel Prude's death. This was updated at 6:21, so about 6 minutes ago, our time. Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren announced today that she has suspended the 7 police officers involved in the March arrest of a black man who died after he was pinned to the ground on his stomach. The suspensions came a day after attorneys for the man's family released police body cam video that showed officers covering the man's head with a spit sock. I won't have time, but I'll explain to you what that is if you don't know. And holding him to the ground in a prone position before he stopped breathing. Here's the problem with this whole thing. Number one, well, here's the big thing. He was having a mental health episode. So the guy was hurting. He wasn't. Here's where you can see it here. Okay, I don't know if you ever saw one of these or not. Basically, they are what they're called. It's so the person that has it over their head doesn't spit on an officer or whoever. This is what do you call it? The cam videos, right? The why am I blanking out? Body cam video. Body cam video. Yeah, just like I never heard of this thing before. Again, a big problem. The officers involved were not initially suspended and did not receive any disciplinary action. Let me say this again. This happened in March. Okay? 2 months before George Floyd's death. Similar circumstances. Whenever we're talking about defunding the police, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what they mean by it. It's just the messaging is really bad. Why the hell would you send an officer who basically maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago was writing traffic tickets to somebody who's having a mental health problem? Because I promise you, they did not have enough training to deal with this. We'll probably get into a little bit more tomorrow, but before we kill this, what are your thoughts about this?
It just shows you there's not enough training, and it also shows you how much this stuff is hidden from the public. The only reason it's being drug out now is because, what happened here? George Floyd, Jacob Blake, or blank, whatever his, was it Blake, his last name?
Yeah.
The kid running in Georgia, go on and on about it.
Mm-hmm.
Social media and phone cams are bringing this to light.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
awareness. And truthfully, I know we've touched on it before. You just stated this guy had what do you have? A half hour's training in mental situations?
Who knows? Whatever it is, it wasn't enough. I promise you it wasn't enough.
No.
There's no way it was enough. I mean, I don't care if, how long it was. It wasn't his forte. It wasn't his specialty. It wasn't what he was trained to do. There's no way you tell this guy, no, I'm sorry. No, you don't. I want to state before we finish this that I don't think either of us looked into it enough to have any opinion on whether it was racially motivated or not. So I don't want to comment on it yet. I'll be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if it is, but I don't want to make that statement or say, specifically that it was, as much as I want to say that this was definitely a mental health problem that never should have resulted in this guy's death. We'll look into it a little bit more and make our opinions based on a little bit more research. But not a good way to end it, Lou. It was really hoping for something positive out of you. How'd you golf? How's that?
I got washed out, went up there and ended up BSing because we never got rain here and they got a hell of a storm there.
See, well, you can't even give me a good story there.
Yeah, it rained.
It rained. That's a good story, huh?
Here, I'll end it on a positive note. I saved $17 because I didn't golf.
See that? You can put the good gas in the car now, huh?
Yeah. And whoever's listening, as soon as we're done, I'm calling my wife.
See, there you go. God bless you. You guilted him into it. It was a good way to end it. It was a great stream. Good job. Thank you very much, Bob Bless. Thank you very much. Believe me when I tell you, that really does mean a lot to us. I swear to God, it truly does. So thank you. For everybody watching, thank you very much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. If you don't get that, sorry, you're a little young, but that's okay. Or we're a little old. We're a little old, one or the other. But until tomorrow, goodbye, good luck, and God bless. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye.